everybody, Bobby Kelly here. I am just heading over to a meeting, and I wanted to make sure I got you a new episode 20 of the FitNight Show. So it's been a little crazy here. I didn't get to do our normal intro again because we've been so busy trying to get set up for summer. We've got a very cool episode next week, so I'm going to drop that little hint for you. So make sure that you are paying attention to next Wednesday night, because the team has got a pretty cool surprise for you. I think you're going to like it. Tonight we got Mari. She's going to show you some moves that she thinks are super important. We've got Frank, who is going to show you some hip cars, which if you don't know what that is and you're not doing it, you better be. And we're going to do a few more clips about what you should eat and not eat. So let's just get on with it. Episode 20 right now. All right, so now this is where I want to break down a little bit more the sodium, the fat, and all that stuff. Okay, again, I know you guys don't do this, but I do know people, especially at our gym, who are like, sometimes I just want a burger from a fast food joint. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I have a rule. If you are trying to lose fat at our gym, if the restaurant you go to has a drive-through window, you don't ever eat there. So that's how you know. Okay, so what do we think? Oops. Just guess. All right, so this one, we got 670 calories for the Whopper. The Big Mac works. Now, most of you might not, I would say that there's not a whole lot of difference there. They're both not great, okay? But especially when you get into the cholesterol and the saturated fats and stuff like that, I mean, you know, we didn't get into that much detail because a lot of times, just so you know, the restaurants are not required to show all this, but fast food chains were required to do that a couple years ago. So, there you go. All right, this one's a big one. Now we're back at the Starbucks Dunkin' Donuts thing. All right, how many of you see teenagers getting these? I mean, for those of you who come to the gym or are right here in 7th Street, any one of those Dutch Brothers things that the line is 17 miles long, wait till you see this if you don't know this. Okay, so 370 calories, 220 calories, very little protein, some decent carbs, lots of sugar, 54 grams of sugar. Okay, you're kind of more on this side. Okay, I put this one up more for you guys to, if you have grandchildren, if you have teenagers at home, to kind of get them to stop drinking this crap. Okay? All right, we're back at the healthy deal. Are we at Blimpie's or Subway because we're trying to have a 6-inch sandwich? Yes, we are, absolutely. So what'd you think? So the Philly steak or the cheesesteak? Believe it or not, this cheesesteak was better than the tuna. Yeah. And it's a cheesesteak. Again, this one I wanted to put up for those of you who work in an office. Okay, you work in an office and somebody decides it's Donut Wednesday. Okay? So one chocolate cream filled Dunkin' Donut or one chocolate cream filled Krispy Kreme. You're trying to be the good doobie and bring in donuts for everybody. First of all, if you're being a good doobie, don't bring in the damn donuts. Okay? And the answers are?
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme wins. Not by much. Not by much. Okay? I mean, we're not talking anything great shakes, but if you just are told you're in charge of donuts, Krispy Kreme's normally going to be your better bet. All right? Again, now we're at a healthier version. We're at Panera or the Corner Bakery. We're having a little turkey panini. What do you think? You lost if you said Corner Bakery.
I did.
Okay, just a few more. Make the point. All right, it's Friday night. You have kids and grandkids. They just won their first soccer game. Everybody's going out for ice cream. You want to make it easy. Are we doing an Oreo cookie McFlurry or a Blizzard? They're both, that's what the 337 grams is. They're both about the same size. Okay? Look at the sugars. Ridiculous. Look at the carbs. Ridiculous. Calories. So, not so great. So we're back at salads.
Chipotle.
Everybody thinks Chipotle is healthier. I have to tell you to go to Wendy's instead of Chipotle. I put this one up just so you can see what 880 calories, what half of your day is, when you're sitting in the mall and just going like this. And you get a little bit more food that day. How do you know? How do you know what's in these things? Well, a couple things. Obvious answer is if you're going to a fast foodie type place, they now have to put it out there. You can go online and you can look it up, okay? If you're going to a one-off, and when I say a one-off, I mean like a Tarbell's or you could get the calorie count at Capital Grille. You can get a calorie count at Ruth's Chris. These are nicer, higher end chains. They are now legally required to put most of the ingredients in there. And I haven't looked in a little while, but I remember the Ruth's Chris one is like when you get your steaks cooked with butter or without butter. Okay, so you can get a lot of information before you get there. What we tell people when they start on some of our programs like Fit in 42, where you are like absolutely supposed to be eating perfectly, is that if you have to eat out, you do your research before you leave on your trip or before you leave to go to that place. If you want this to be that important to you. So for most of the people in the room who go to the gym, when TJ was training for his bodybuilding event, there was one night he was going to have to go out with his family. And he literally went over everything that was on that menu and figured out how many calories, where's my sodium, how much, and he figured out exactly where he could order before he even got in the building. Now, do you want to do that much work? Probably not. However, do you want to look a certain way? Well, maybe then it's worth the work, isn't it? All right, everybody, Maury and Bobby here. We are going to show you a couple of moves today. I asked Maury to kind of give me some ideas of some things that she really feels have helped our clients over the past couple of weeks since we've been adding them into our routine. The first one she came up with was a wood chop. So, Maury, I'm going to ask you to do a wood chop without a ball first. So you're just going to get into position. So all I'm going to have you do is do the hands up, reach out one. Now, as she does this, watch how she goes. Notice how she's working very hard to keep her tailbone, shoulders, and head in alignment. So, by using this PVC pipe, as she goes down and forward, it's very simple how she's working on not rounding and not losing core stability. So Maury, would you do me a favor and just show a poor one where you round your shoulders, kind of get out of alignment. I don't like when we do this, but it happens all the time. Now, notice she can't even keep her balance to do a proper wood chop. Come on back up. So when you don't have the core stability to do it right, or you don't have the ankle stability to stay in proper positioning, she's going to fall over. Now, we're going to add a 12-pound medicine ball. As we do this 12-pound medicine ball, you're going to see she's going to work a lot harder. So go ahead, Maury. Now, she's not going to reach out forward. She's actually going to go down and do like almost a single leg, rear leg deadlift. So as she goes up, she'll press straight up. She's working on keeping this right leg elevated the whole time. She's staying in her posture, keeping everything in pretty good alignment. She might make a mistake every now and then and put her foot down. And what we'll do is we'll try and keep her, you can be done with those for now. We would try and keep her doing reps of 10 to 15. Now the next thing we're gonna do is a waiter walk. So in general, a waiter walk, again, we're working on that core stability. We're working on, I'm going to turn you to the side here, Maury. We're working on keeping that head, neck, shoulder, tailbone in proper position. So what she's going to do is she's going to raise this kettlebell above her head. Yep. You can do kettlebell down, whatever you want. So she's actually going to show the harder version. Her arm is perfectly straight, and she's just going to march in place for the sake of the video. Now, just marching in place is pretty challenging in and of itself. Notice how, again, she's keeping proper posture, but she would do these maybe for, say, 15 yards and then come backwards. Maury, as you bring your arm down, why don't we show a 90-degree version? Now, she's showing a version this time, you can march just a little bit, where she's got her arm at 90, she has her kettlebell in the racked position, and that makes it a little bit easier. Relax. She could use a dumbbell. She could, for many people, especially who are a little bit older and they lack balance and stability, they could just do it without any weight at all. So we'll call that a weighted waiter walk. Now, the last one we're going to show is also a great posture move, and we've been using a lot with our seniors and even with our young adolescents because they're really struggling with phones and iPads and especially our older people who read and they drive. Why don't you just start doing the band pull apart? So we've got just a very small resistant quarter-inch band, and all she's trying to do is extend her arms very far out in front of her. I'll have her do a side view in just a second, but from the front view, notice she's got a little bit of extra on the sides. She's got her shoulder blades pulled back and down so they're engaged and they're locked in. Now, Maury, I just want you to turn and face me so that I can show from the back, go into a few more. She's really working on squeezing her shoulder blades together, and we'll do one more view in just a second. She's got a great spine angle here where she's standing up perfectly straight. And Maury, if you would just turn around and put your back to the camera. If you notice, she's going to work very hard on squeezing her lats, squeezing her shoulder girdle together, trying to pinch my hand with her shoulder blades as she pulls straight back. So, as you can see, Maury was right. Her focus as we went through this was how we're going to work on good posture, good core stability, and really not make people feel like you have to constantly grind. All of these moves are the type of moves that will help you with your bigger lifts, but they're also things that we need to do on a daily basis to make sure we have good posture.
Alright, Results Only crew, we have another move for you that you can start adding into every single one of your warm-ups. We've done shoulder cars, we're going to do some hip cars now. Remember, CAR stands for controlled articular rotations. It's all about control. So normally, if we tell TJ to do some hip circles, go ahead and just do some willy-nilly hip circles with your right arm. His body's all over the place, he's not really concentrating. So we're going to get him to control that movement now. So I'm going to ask TJ to push into the ground, rip the mat apart with your arms. He corkscrews his shoulders, his back is nice and flat. Now, we're going to start by lifting the right knee off the ground. Then he's going to drive his knee forward first. So let's restart that. So let's go knee up, forward first, there we go. Then out to the side. Good. He's keeping his back as level as possible. When he can no longer lift it without his back coming in, he's going to kick his heel up towards the ceiling and start to rotate that hip inward, kicking his heel out, reaching his hip as high as he can. If you look at his body, he's shaking a little bit there. That's because there's tension all throughout. Then he's going to bring that knee down. Now we're going to reverse the movement. He's going to kick up. His heel goes up towards the ceiling as high as he can, keeping that back nice and tight. Don't let it move. Now we're going to open up the knee to the side. Good. Lift, 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 lift. He's shaking like crazy because there's tension all throughout his body. Bring it all the way to the front, then down, and then back to starting position. So that's one hip car, and that took him a solid 30 seconds to a minute. That's how long it should take, and it should be, again, a controlled movement. TJ's sweating a little bit, he's shaking. That's how the hip car should be done.